Hi, everyone. Welcome so much to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to have you here today. This is where we talk about web design, online marketing, and today, how to create beautiful branded images with Midjourney. This week's guest is the branding witch herself, Marisol Rios, with 16 years of experience in web design, graphic design, and digital marketing. Marisol joins us today to reveal her secrets for creating stunning brand imagery using simple Midjourney prompts and strategic reference images. I am so excited to have her here. Her master's in digital marketing and her intuitive approach to AI creativity have made her a trusted guide for witchy, neurodivergent women looking to enhance their brand magic. Marisol, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yes, this is going to be great. So thank you all. And thank you all so much for being here too. Okay, so let's jump right in. So one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on is you're an expert in brand and design. And so you bring those skills into AI and Midjourney, but you have a really unique approach to image creation. I think the sort of standard belief or practice around creating images in Midjourney is that the more complex the prompt, the better. But your approach, you create amazing images without a lot of that sort of prompt surgical strategy that goes into it. So do you just want to talk a little bit about your approach to creating images, and then we'll dive right in and share your screen and do some fun stuff?
Sure. So, since I started working in AI, at the beginning, I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I was working in Midjourney when it was still back in Discord. And I always tried to do imagery as a reference because I wasn't so good with the prompting, with my words. And I didn't have the support of ChatGPT yet. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting what I want. And I was trying to blend images. And I was like, this is not what I want. I have no control. I don't like it. And then I started really getting into it, learning through Secret Eye Society. And then I was like, okay, I think I understand it. Now that Midjourney is on a website and you can really just use, well, now there's mood boards, which is a whole thing. They got style references and we have all these things. I was like, okay, now I can just do whatever I want, really referencing what I'm envisioning in my mind's eye. I just bring it in, and just prompt very, very simply. Sometimes it's just one word, and I just like to see what it happens, and then I start building from there. I have to like sometimes switch the style reference for prompt reference, but it's just like it's more experimenting for fun now than trying to nail the vision that I have.
Ooh, fun. Oh, cool. Okay, I love it. I love it. This is music to my ears because as much as I love creating in Midjourney, but the prompting is the hardest part for me. And I've had to just like, it's a slog. Like, okay, I have to create first the shot and then, okay, now we're talking about the character and then where do I want them in the composition? Like thinking through all the different parts of the prompt is like, has just always worn me down. And there are people like Bloom, who I interviewed her a few weeks ago. She loves that because that's how she creates exactly what she wants. Is she like almost sculpts the prompt. And so like to see your approach, and I saw you in a workshop recently, and that was when I was like, oh my God, I have to have her on the show. So okay, so let's dive in. So let's share your screen and dive into playing around with Midjourney a little bit and see how this actually looks in real time.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, here we go. Can you
Perfect.
see it
Okay,
all
so
right?
I'm going to add you up to the stage. Perfect. Okay, great.
Okay, can you see my Midjourney?
No, we're looking at Pixie.
Oh, I chose the wrong thing. Let's try again.
That's okay. I can remove this and we will add the new one.
I'm so used to Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, StreamYard's it's a little different, isn't it?
Oh, there we go. Entire screen. Can you see it now?
Perfect. Yes, now we've got your Midjourney and some very cute little gremlins.
Okay, so there's this challenge in LinkedIn. It's the Saturday Monster Challenge, and each weekend it's just like different kinds of monsters. So this past Saturday, which I didn't post, it was baby monsters. So I do very simple. I just did the prompt was cute, mystical little baby monsters. Baby monster. I didn't even type it right. But because I already have my style, and I am trying to streamline this process a little bit more, and having a mood board and just using that style reference. And
Mm,
for people that don't know what that is, you can go to personalize here in Midjourney, and then you turn your personalization on, and then you can create a mood board just like you would do in Pinterest. And then you can add from your gallery, which is everything you've ever created in life. You can add images from here, or you can add them from Pinterest itself, which is my favorite thing to do. Pinterest has been my thing since it got invented. I actually say that I invented it because I used to have a Dropbox. I still have it. A Dropbox with things like pictures, actual like pictures I would take and just upload them, and screenshots and stuff like that from things I liked. And then Pinterest existed, and I was like, this is what I was trying to do with my Dropbox.
right, right. How cool. I think a lot of designers really resonate with that because we're so visually, inspired by things. And I feel like I've been collecting images for forever. And so, yeah, having a way to do it now in a structured way that also helps me create images is just mind blowing. So yeah, the mood board thing is really cool. We can spend some time on this if you want to, and like walk through how you would maybe create a mood board. Is there a certain number of images that you find that creates a great mood board, or?
I think at least 10 images. It's a good spot. Like you see, like I have all these ones that are like not even done. I been trying to create this one. So I'm gonna show you first, like what's my
Sure.
style. And it took me a little bit of time, obviously, to get to this point. So I was trying to create my vibe basically, which for the branding witch, which now I think it's going to be the AI witch. Stay tuned. I've been going back and forth, but it's the evolution of a brand. It's inevitable to just keep moving on. I didn't want to just be encased in branding because there's so much more I want to do, and AI is like my passion, my true love, at least right now. ADHD. So I actually don't see, I don't think it's a thing that's going to go away for me, so I think that's the head that where I'm headed. But I was trying to create something very mystical. So when I started, I think I had more of a creepier approach. First, it was really elegant, and then I went a little creepy, and then I think I found the sweet spot. So this is like where I started, kind of, and this is like way before I had more control with my character and all that stuff. But it was like a little bit more elegant, still very witchy. I mean, it's very on brand. If you see, like I have the purple velvet, wearing purple velvet and rainbow hair, and the jewelry, a lot of cleavage there. But this is where it started, and then I'm gonna be featured in the new issue of She Is AI.
Magazine. Uh-huh.
That's where I had like a more creepy approach. If you can see here, I was already playing with like um shinier glows and more floral stuff, but it did get a little dark, and I don't know exactly where those went, because I had some that are, maybe it was witch. Let me just see. And that's what I'm showcasing. That vibe is what I'm showcasing in this issue of the magazine.
Very cool. It's really interesting as you scroll through to see the evolution. I think that's really important too, because I have found that to be a really important part of creating images in Midjourney. Is there's just, you'll finally create images and then I'll get something in one of the images that sparks an idea, and oh, okay, let's follow that a little bit, and then okay, let's follow that a little bit. And there's a really natural evolution to creating images in Midjourney. And we have a lot of comments. Hi, everybody. Hi, Beth. Vesica loved your little baby gremlins. She said she wished you had posted those gremlins. They're adorable.
I
And
think I
Blue,
am.
what'd you say?
I think I am, even if it's already past the weekend. I think I am gonna post
Oh,
them.
good. Yes, yes, you totally should. And Bloom's here. Marisol, your work is amazing. And then Rachel's here. Rachel says mirror. I wonder if she's talking about something you've added into your images.
So the name of my article in SHI is Mirror Mirror, Mirror Mirror on the wall. Yeah. So I started using mirror. So this is what I was talking about. Like it was a little bit creepier, more like in the woods, more like witch in the woods.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like the middle ground where I was. And I was using this imagery of like, I always wanted to take a photo shoot like this, like very in the woods and whatnot. And I'm like, but I'm not going to go to the woods. So that's where enter the magic of AI. So
You don't have to now, right? Yeah, for
I
sure.
was like, I'll just give the creative direction. These are the ones. So the mirrors are very important in
Mm.
this series. Um, so yeah,
Why? Do you want to talk about that for a minute? Why are the mirrors important?
so it was just like being able to look at myself in different perspectives and different views, and what I was, what I've been, what I want to be. It's just like, that's when I say AI is healing, and it's so good for introspection meditation. So my goal is to, yes, help neurodivergent witchy people get empowered with AI. That's like my mission in life, but not just, like with branding or your business. I actually want to show how you can connect your spiritual being with AI. Like, these kinds of explorations have been, you know like an introspection and a meditation of my life and who I am and where I want to be as a woman and how I've grown as a woman. It's been so, so, so cool to see that, because I'm giving myself grace, but also I've empowered myself. And I've been like, you've always been this powerful person. I give you permission to be, because sometimes we're waiting for permission outside of ourselves, and we don't need permission from anybody but ourselves. And it's hard to get there. And AI helped me get there. So for me, it's just magical. And that's the importance of the mirrors. Um, so yeah, this is where I was stylistically,
I love
and that felt so good to was finally being able to put it into words. Sometimes I have problems with my words. Again, ADHD, my thoughts, my brain, and my mouth are not always on the same at the same pace and the same page. So that felt really good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was going to say that was beautifully said. And I think you said that so well, because I think it's something a lot of us really relate to. I'm going to get just you on stage really quick, really for a second, because I think this is important to like spend a minute on, because I think so many of us have found that similar sense of empowerment with using AI. It's really been fascinating to dive into creating these images and having so much like control and influence to over the images that you create, and then being able to put yourself in it. Like you're saying, you get to be creative director. Like, you're not going to go in the woods and do a photo shoot, but you can create it and you can get it to match your vision. And it's transformational in a way that I did not expect. And one of your words in particular that you talk about a lot is empowering people with AI. Do you want to speak to that specifically for a minute before we go back to prompting and looking at images?
So I think it's because myself have been in a journey of finding myself. Like I mentioned before, I have I hadn't found a tool that allowed me to feel so powerful. And it's a thing of fudge. I was able to learn this new skill in a point of my life where I was so tired of learning things to be able to be up to date with the industry. And I was just learning things to learn, and I had lost the fire. And so that's how I started learning AI. I was like, I need to. I don't. I was a naysayer too. I was in the mindset of it's stealing from artists, and it's not. Like, as a graphic designer and a painter, like, that's what you think. And then you use the tool, and then you understand the tools, and then you're like, this is not what people think. Like, it's not like one button and Midjourney is like, oh, look at this piece this other person did, it's yours now. Like, no.
Right.
It's such a process. And I felt so fulfilled being able to learn something so creative at a point where, I don't know, like I said, I was creatively dead. So that was really empowering. And it was like, I understand it now. I know how to do it. I just get so excited. And for my neurodivergent brain, the fact that there's so many changes in AI and there's so many tools to learn, sometimes it can be overwhelming, but it also keeps me engaged. And it's just so exciting. Like, when I learn about the mood boards in Midjourney. I was like, oh my God, yes, a new toy, like something else to do, something else I can like expand on the stuff that I'm doing. And I went back to creating art, and I went back to refresh my brand and all these things. And that feeling, it's a fire in your soul, and that's what's empowering.
Beautifully said. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you so much for saying that. I love that. I think that fire in your belly feeling, so much, so many of us have gotten that from AI. It's been almost like a creative rebirth for us, because it's just mind blowing what it can do. And I just, oh, that was lovely. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the stage. Okay. So let's go back to your desktop. So if you want to go back to Midjourney. Oops. Oh,
Oh,
whoops.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Um, and I heard someone said, fairly recent, I had just been playing in Midjourney, doing nothing, just wasting time. I need to find a practical approach to AI. And I'm like, no, like releasing your soul and doing something creative, it's not doing nothing. But I understand, like we're wired to always be productive. And it's like, if I don't have a tangible result from something that I'm doing, then it's a waste of time. But I don't remember who said that, but wasting time doing things that you enjoy is not wasted time at all.
Right. Right. Yeah. Isn't that the definition of play? I feel like the official definition of play is like time spent without purpose. And I think AI has been an inroad to that for a lot of us, for sure.
And for anybody that thinks that they're just wasting time doing stuff in Midjourney or with AI at all, just think you can sell everything. Everything's a business opportunity. So don't even think about that. Like you can just do whatever you want with everything you create with AI. That's just a side note.
That's awesome. I love it. So true. Okay. All right. So you brought Midjourney back up. I'm going to share your screen again. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so let's look at what you're doing here. And so when you're creating some of these images, so it's the prompt is simple. I mean, it literally looks like,
So,
okay,
for example, for these ones, I think I did because I was so focused in trying to recreate that vibe that I saw. So the inspiration I got was from an actual photographer I saw on Instagram, and I was like, this is the kind of thing that I always wanted to do. But even if I wanted to hire a photographer, I did not have the words to explain it. Like I don't have the vocabulary or the knowledge. And of course, I could also show these kinds of things to a photographer and get stuff like this done, but I just wanted to explore how can I art direct something like this. And it's going to be, of course, way more ethereal. There's some magic that you just can't recreate, not even with props. So it's just like the creative direction. It's like, again, when you go to Pinterest to find something that's going to inspire your next branding project, your next graphic design project, your next painting, you make a board to get inspiration, and then from there you start creating. So it's the same process for Midjourney. So all I did was a curvy, realistic editorial shoot depiction of a 40-year-old sorceress with peach hair, because I had peach hair. That's it. I just need.
that's it. And let's look at the images that you chose, because it looks like, do you have 3 of the same image down there?
Yes. So this was my main inspiration, this photography. Because again, I didn't know how really to describe this to myself even. So I couldn't even tell Midjourney like create me, because if I say eerie mirror, it's gonna create its own thing, what it has in its database, but I needed something really specific. I had this vision in my head, in my mind's eye, that I'm like, I know what I want, and it's really close to this. That's the creative direction that I want. So I used it as character, as style, and as part of the prompt. So
Interesting.
so that's why
all 3. And then you just used a picture. Is that a picture of you as another character reference?
just so it has it had like at least the width of my face, kind of, so I wouldn't get like too much of a skinny model or something like that. And but this is kind of old, so I could say curvy. I don't think you can do curvy in Midjourney anymore. So
it's the picture. Can you just take just so we can see it bigger, so we can see what the comparison. Okay, yeah, literally just a close-up selfie of you. Perfect. Amazing.
yeah, so that's basically it. And so that's where I was, and I just wanted to create these these pieces, and I think they did it such a great job. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. Like this is perfect. And just by directing the journey with imagery. So I heard a YouTuber, and I don't remember his name. If I remember, I will let you know, because I love him and I can't remember the name of his channel right now. But I heard him say that it's believed that um in the future the prompting is probably just going to be visual,
Yep.
because
All
Midjourney,
images. Yep.
Midjourney understands way better if you show it what you want or the direction that you're taking. It listens better. It's so weird to say, that it's listening and seeing, but it pretty much is. So
Very cool. Amazing. Okay, so let's look at some of the more of these things that you've created. I'm fascinated by some of the ones that you've created with like literally a one word prompt.
So, for example, so then after this, I started creating. I wanted to create. It's yeah. I wanted to create. I was like, okay, I think I'm done with creating myself. Like I went to my cathartic whatever that I went through, and then I was like, okay, I need to create environments for my brand. I need to create environments for my website. I need to create environments, and I just can't just be the only thing that's the focus. So then I started combining those visual inspirations with another thing that I had created, which is like this living room. So I was like, and then
That's
it's like styles
amazing.
that are like they overlap and it gets a little crazy, and I love it. So it was like that imagery that I had, like the ghostly mirrors,
Yeah.
and then like this like kind of bougie mystical living room.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna start creating stuff like this. I get a little dark. Like I love this, but that's I started moving a little bit from the darkness. So I started creating like these super cool, ethereal, cool living rooms and whatnot. So then I realized that this is an image I saw from someone else's branding at some point. She doesn't have this branding anymore. I can't find it. Her name's Natalia Benson, and she's like an amazing spiritual coach. So I just like that's how I envision myself too, like a lot of holographic. So I have two parts, like I'm either really goth or really rainbow, like really dark or really, yeah, like holographic rainbow and black. Like those are my two modes. And I was like, I know you can mix them. There's pastel goth, like there's stuff like that exists in this world. So, and then that's when I started figuring out like what images were starting to give me a style that I liked. And then it ended up being these images that I have over here. So it's that image of that branding, a living room I had created, the mirrors, and then these other two images I created by combining things. But then I started using these because they're like the ones that portray everything I want. Again, the mirror really important.
I mean, look at that one. Like that's unreal, right? Like that's if you were trying to prompt that, like there's no way Midjourney would freak out. There's no way you could get the detail in a prompt to get Midjourney to create that. So I love that you're the way you blend the images, the way you use them as references, then Midjourney can take and kind of run with it. How do you set your style? Do you set style like stylize as pretty high or low? Do you use chaos?
Oh, yes. Especially when I'm using other things that I want to blend and it starts taking those into account more, I stylize 1,000.
Oh, okay.
So this is my core. Those are my images that I used
Oh,
to do everything now because I'm creating in this style. Like I do want to do other explorations and whatnot. So I'm gonna create a mood board that has this and explore. I'm gonna like start weighing between using the actual images and then using the mood board. Like that's something I really want to test. But for example, now that I have these, there's this awesome challenge that we're in. I think you're in there too with Bloom, who you're interviewed to, and she just gives a word. She just gives a word. And like one of the words I remember was apple. So all I did was I think I did mystical apple. And I'm gonna copy one of my prompts because it has all my styling, which is stylized 1,000. The aspect ratio is already there, style raw, and it already has my profile. So I'm gonna use that. But what I'm gonna use. Actually, use prompt. There it is. Okay. So now I'm just gonna do mystical apple. That's all I'm gonna do, and I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna like because it is already my style, and
Right.
all the images are labeled as style, and that's it. So we'll just wait for a little bit. So now everything that I get in ideas of, I just do this, and then sometimes I wait, and I'll show you right now, like what I mean. See, like these, I'm already like, yes,
Ah, yes.
like I will use these. If I animate this in Luma, it's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I already know. And sometimes I want to go a little bit darker in theme, but not too much in color. So I've been prompting these like kind of like zombie dead, living dead girls, my favorite song.
Uh-huh.
So I created some stuff, and I don't even know how Midjourney got there. I was again just using styles and I started creating these kind of like zombie corpse brides, and so now I use those as reference.
That's so funny. I love that song too. I'm a big Rob Zombie fan.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
for
love
sure.
that. Yeah, that's like my feel good song. Like if I when I feel powerful and hot, I'm like looking at that girl. That's my song. That's
I
my
love
so see like these are like they start getting a little bit creepy. I mean I love those eyes.
Yes, right?
So and all of that is just like a combination. And see like here I was just doing creepy mystical freckles. That was it.
Ah, how fun.
And I just love all of them. I love them all. So
Yeah.
that's I started experimenting with that, and then like recently I did horror movies. So and I that's a series I'm gonna do. Like this is a preview. The the challenge word was something geeky or geekiness, and I was like I'm a geek for horror movies.
Ah, fun.
So I did this and I just said Sam Raimi's I don't know like really what's the database that Midjourney has.
Uh-huh.
It kind of did have an idea what it was. So I just prompted Sam Raimi's Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell.
Hmm.
That's it. And he gave me these super cool Ash, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Sorry, with Ash versus the Evil Dead. It's an
Hmm.
80s horror movie, and I
Hmm.
think it like that's how the data look. They're kind of like zombie creatures.
Yeah.
But see like the sparkle, the holographic. So I'm just really blending the darkness I like with the lightness I like.
That's amazing. And such a clever way to do that. Now, when it says your global profile, what is that? Do you want to go into that real quick? Is that your mood board?
So no, the global profile is after you can go to personalize and you can build your profile by rating images.
Yeah.
So this way you're teaching Midjourney what your aesthetic preferences are, and it just builds that profile for you. So that's the only thing that I have really built,
Mhm.
and I have not. The more you rate, the more it refines it and it gives you different versions of that global profile. And
Mhm.
I just have one. I've only done one because I love what it gives me. And I haven't had a lot of time to like start experimenting a little bit more. That's why I haven't like really gone deep dive into the mood boards. I'm really excited to see once I do that mood board with those images that I really like,
Yeah.
what it's gonna look like. But yeah, so that's basically how I'm gonna delete all these because uh, okay. That's what I that's how I work, and I'll do a mood board real quick. I think I do have selected um my base style. Like I had already downloaded those base for my style. So
Oh,
it's these. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all of these. So it's these. And then I'm just missing one, I think. And it's that living room. It's this living room, and that living room was completely inspired with one of Jenna Swords, and Jenna Sword is the creator of Secret Eye Society, my mentor, and overall AI queen. So she had an image back when, like back at the beginning when she started the program. She created this image of herself in this velvet couch wearing a velvet dress and she looked so elegant. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. And that's where my style started. And I just kept it because it gives me a good balance between too mystical and keeping that little bit of like elegance in it.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I like to keep it. And then there was another one that I did not upscale. It was that one.
Yeah, there you go.
This one. Okay. So I think that should create, I think those are all my images that I use as a base.
Yeah, that's really got the holographic element in that one. Yeah, very cool.
So this is going to be base style. So now let's see what happens. Copy code. If we use this with, let's do the apple again, mystical apple. But I'm just going to leave it like this.
Perfect.
And not going to use the images as style reference. Let's see how different they are. Oh, I didn't put aspect ratio. But yeah, let's see what's like that difference between using all the images as style and then just using the mood board.
Yeah, yeah, very cool. Because in the previous prompt, they were used as image references, right?
Style.
Were they just in the link in the prompt, right?
Yeah, so I prompted and used every image I use as inspiration as my base as style. So all of it. But see how different it is? Like I like it. I like it, but it's not what I want. But now there's a thing too. Before you couldn't mix sorry, I got a brain stutter. You couldn't mix style and mood boards, I believe. So I'm gonna leave this like this.
Fine.
Personalize, and then I'm gonna copy.
It really messed with the composition too. It really changed the composition when you. Of course, I also wonder if that was because the aspect ratio was different.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do the mystical apple with the aspect ratio, my regular profile, and then this code is the mood board. So I'm adding that, and I'm not gonna keep these. I'm just gonna prompt like that. See what happens.
Oh, very cool.
And then the last test I'm gonna do. And I'm so glad we're doing this because I've been procrastinating testing this. I've been procrastinating doing the mood board, and I was like, I already have the images ready. I've had them ready for a while.
Awesome. I'm so glad we're doing this too. It's so fun.
So it's so different. I mean, I'm loving it, but it's not. See, like this is my vibe. These I will use, but it's so different. It's like a fairy tale.
Yeah, that one totally looks mystical, doesn't it? It's very cool, but the apple is not center stage as much in these as it was in that first prompt.
And see, like this has a little bit more of the colors and the aesthetic that I like, but it's still not completely. I love this one. This is the Snow White's apple, like no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Snow White's apple. I love that. But it's just, I don't know. And it uses so much water when I just use the images as reference for everything I create. It generates a lot of water. I don't know why, but I love it. I love this. See, so the last thing I'm going to try is I'm going to use this. So I have the mystical apple, the correct aspect ratio, my regular profile, and the mood board. Does it have it? I think it should. I'm just going to try it again. Use. I guess that's it. Glow style. It should have everything.
Okay.
So that's the prompt. So I'm just, just to make sure. Use. Okay, that's what it is. But now I'm actually going to use the images that I usually use as style. So I'm going to like really go in there with my profile, with my mood board, and my regular images, all of them set as style. I think you can mix these. You weren't able to mix them before.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Yay, you can mix styles and mood boards now. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I know you can mix mood boards. Like you can mix 3 different mood boards. I don't think there's a limit of how many mood boards you can mix, but before you can mix style and mood boards, and now you can't. So now let's see what happens with like, okay, yes, this is more my jam.
Oh, interesting.
This is way more my jam. but this is like so elaborate.
Yes.
There's so much going on, and I love this. This is super cool.
Yeah,
And
again, I can't even imagine trying to prompt for this. Look at that. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Wow, very cool.
yeah, this is like way more mystical. But at the this is like completely on brand. Like this is something I would totally use. But again, I think I've we just witnessed a decision. I think I just like using my images as style. Not no mood board, no nothing, just the
Mhm.
same base images as style. That really gives me what I like.
That's so interesting. And interesting, like the power of experimentation too, because it really I was so prepared to come into this interview and leave with like, okay, this is the correct way to do it now. Like now we have mood boards or this is how you blend things. But it really it's all about experimentation. It's about trying different things and seeing what it is that you're really after.
I mean, this is so different from everything. And it was based on the mood board that's based on all my images. It
Yeah.
is just so different. It's beautiful. Like I would print this in a canvas. It looks so beautiful. But it's
Mhm.
not on brand for what I'm doing, you know? So I it's still something I will use. It's something that I love, but it's just so different from what I'm trying to achieve.
Yes, for sure. Interesting. This is so fascinating. Okay, so then let me ask you another question. So this is what you go through for you and your brand. Does
Mhm.
this process change at all when you're doing work for clients? Do you do things in a different way or different order, or is
No,
there, yeah.
sorry.
No, 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 go ahead. Sorry.
So no, it's the same thing. So what I do is I create a mood board. Well, first of all, like I my branding is it's gonna sound woo woo, but of course it's that's why I'm the witch. I the first thing I do is like have a conversation with the client. Sometimes it could just be an email, and I honestly use my intuition, and it might sound silly to some people, but I use my intuition to envision what they need, and it works because I don't really spend a lot of time in like revisions and options. Like I create an ecosystem of a brand, and then I show them how it looks, and then most of the times 90% of the times they're like nailed it, and it might be just like some simple changes, maybe a little bit of color adjustments, stuff like that, but nothing like we need to start from scratch ever. Like no, because people that I've been very blessed to work with people that are really passionate about their brands and their businesses, that they exude that when we're having a conversation or where they write their email to me, and then I can really see what they're trying to express. So it's just like the same process. Once I understand what they're trying to do, I do, of course, the normal thing that if and in any like if I don't know if you know what Domestika is. Domestika is like a website that has all these lessons, and any other lessons I've seen from like big designers, it's always a Pinterest board, like always, always. That's like
Mhm.
the base. So I do a board, I get a sense of their style, and then I create the brand identity first, like the logo and all that stuff, create the color palette, choose the typography, like the old way, the old school way. The way that I integrate AI to the process is then once the stuff is set, done, um, like okay, it's tied up with a little bow, the brand identity. Then I go and use those things as style in
Nice.
Midjourney to create their vault. I create a vault of imagery that they can use for social media, for websites, for whatever they need, and it's gonna be on brand. So, for example, I'm gonna show you something I did here for. I don't know if I have it under what I have it. Let me think. What was it? Virtual. Okay, yes. So I did this for AI Festivus, which was this super cool, I think it was 3 whole days event of AI. You know, people talking about AI, a lot of people showing their zone of genius within AI because there's so many applications. It's not just creative, it's automations, all these other things. So I had this vision of what, and I had total freedom, which is like the best when you have a project like this. I had total creative freedom. They were like, go with it, roll with it. I did get some images from And Murphy, who's like the woman that was able to make this into fruition in like a week or something. She's amazing. She did show me some images in a collaborative Pinterest board that we had. And so I used the image that we both were like, that's the soul, which is this. That
Oh,
was the soul. That's it. It's just I just didn't know really how to, even with the scribe in Midjourney. I was like, I don't know how to really portray this other than just use it as style.
yeah.
And that's all I did. So it built all of this.
Wow. And what were your, look, can we see some of your prompts too?
Yeah, sure. So I was just doing artificial intelligence virtual workshop.
Wow.
Like literally what we were doing.
Amazing.
And
Yes.
I said no text. It didn't listen, but that's easy to edit, of course.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I was like, that's
Wow.
what we're doing. So I need to see what Midjourney thinks a virtual workshop is.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, you might as well play around it. I've done this sort of thing too. I've gotten the craziest, wildest, most amazing things from just like saying like, give me graphics, give me a background, give me a texture, give me, just anything that has to relate to my client's work or business or niche or whatever, and just seeing what Midjourney comes up with. That is fascinating. Yes, yes, yes. And here's the page.
And
Beautiful.
see, and then like when you animate some of those things, my favorite thing was this one, like all
Yes.
the women in the with their virtual things. And I know like that's the cliche of like us thinking about virtual, but I just thought it looked so cool. I'm like, let's go with it. Let's just go with it. And
Yeah.
yeah, like, just carrying. See, like that's a brand carrying the whole concept throughout, all in all, like all the colors, all the images. So like that's how I involved AI in it. So I combine my background. I mean, I've been doing branding for 16 years, so it's just like I just spruced up the process a little bit more because now I have complete control. In other times, I would have had to go to Adobe Stock and try to find images more or less and have to edit the colors of them, and it would just still maybe looked a little too generic. And now I have the power. I have the power to create things that were on point, like right the perfect match for this brand. And we I had a nobody knew. I forgot to tell them the little thing that we even had a pet for the conference. We had this little cat. And I think I did use him for some stuff, but yeah, I was like,
That's amazing. I love this. And was your prompt people in a virtual conference and it gave a cat?
yeah, that one was people, people. Yeah. And it was like, okay, a cat. And I'm like, okay, well,
Okay, right, all right, we'll go with it. Well, it matches. I mean, that's the kind of fun thing is that I think when you're using Midjourney this way and you're getting the style to match, so you're getting the colors, the aesthetics, the like just the overall style to match, that when Midjourney does some of the weird stuff that Midjourney does, that's how you end up with these like really happy accidents. I think that's when it's really fun to play with
oh,
that
and I just go with it. Like, because I know some people get frustrated when they're doing their work in Midjourney and they're like, I just can't get it to do what I want. It's like it's iteration, 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 and everything is useful. Like everything is usable.
Yeah.
Everything is usable. Like you have to give yourself a little leeway and flexibility in what you're doing, especially if it's something so creative and enjoyable. It's like there's no real mistakes. Like I think we can use all these images. Like all of these can be transformed in into stuff. And I did something else for She Leads AI, which is that's Anne Murphy's movement. It's a movement, and I wanna not personal organize my folders. For her, I did. We had all these images that were so amazing, and I was like, we need to do something about it. So I create a vault for her, and she can use all those images to create merch. So that's what she's gonna do. And we created. Oh, actually, I have the physical thing. I rather show you the actual thing if you don't mind.
No, please.
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop my camera real quick because you guys don't need to
Oh,
see
sure, sure, sure. Here,
me
I'll remember.
standing up. Let me just so I can get up real quick and grab the actual calendar. We created a calendar and it was so cool because we had all these images. Of course, I created more to keep them like on holiday, kind of. Um,
So fun.
okay, so we had this.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Ah!
We had all these images, and they matched the brand, but it wasn't for the website. We're trying to create something a little bit more, not corporate, but I don't know, not so artistic. So then we're like, we have all these images. So I just was like, let's just do him. Let's just create something with them. Like the sky's the limit. So we just did all of these. And
Oh,
she sent this to me, and I'm like, I haven't seen one of my works physically in so long, except for like, like the magazines that are physical.
for sure.
But I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I mean, Easter.
Ah, so cool. Oh my gosh.
And I did
Amazing.
try to keep some of them on theme. But yeah, like that's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so cool to like see it. When I got it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It
I
was like
mean,
the
merch, right? Like that's what's so amazing. It's like you said, literally the sky's the limit. It's not just we don't have to stop even at like website backgrounds and social media images. I mean, there's so much that you could create that stays on brand, that keeps your brand cohesive and connected. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love it. Awesome. This was so fun. All right, let me ask you one more question before I let you go. So one of the things, so you call yourself a branding witch, which is obviously it's a big part of your brand. I mean, we just saw those gorgeous mystical images, but talk a little bit about what's witchy about what you do and what drew you to that word, and what is witchy that you bring to your work and your AI work.
So I've always been fascinated with witches, first of all, like always my whole life. And it's, I'm Mexican, so like that's a big thing in our culture, but it's very frowned upon, at least back in the day. It was like, no, 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 like being a witch is not great. And then as you grow up and you study, like, like you learn about the actual trials and all this stuff, it's like women, we're just like always ostracized for what we know, and we always want to be shut down, and they always want to like quiet us down, and that's what those witches did. And I just watched this documentary last night. It's called Witches, and I did not know what it was because I like to watch things blind, and I thought it was just going to be like a documentary. It was about uh postnatal psychosis. And I am not a mother, but I felt so seen because sometimes our mental health, like it's not always there. We carry so much as women, we do so much as women. Not saying that men don't, of course they do too, but like we do carry a lot of stuff. We are always trying to like protect and heal and all that stuff. And all these women were just healers, and they were just making magic with their knowledge. And the women that experimented this psychosis thing were reading what some of these women that got hanged for were describing as a confession. And they're like, this sounds like psychosis. Like maybe all of those women were just going through some mental health thing,
Yeah.
and they thought they were being, like accosted by the devil or stuff like that. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a tangent, but mental health is really important to me. And taking back the meaning of being a witch into something powerful, again, empowerment. That's really important to me. And then also one day I was like, I do magic with branding. And I'm like, oh shoot. Like
There it is.
I was like, oh wow. And that's also why like I'm leaning into, I'm not 100% there. I'm leaning into being the AI witch instead of the branding witch, because I can do magic with AI for a lot of things, not just branding, creative, healing, like all these other things. So that's why. And I didn't know why I was so fascinated with witches. It's been my growing up, learning, getting informed, that really made it click. Like it's not just like, oh, I want to do like spells and stuff like that. No, it's like it's a healing woman. It was healing women
Yeah.
that were the witches,
Yeah.
So that's basically why.
I love it. Awesome. Oh, that's a beautiful answer. Marisol, thank you so much for being here. This has been such an inspiring, empowering, and educational interview. I'm so grateful for everything that you shared with us, not just your knowledge and your brilliance and your creativity, but also just you and your beautiful essence and your passion for this work. I love the AI witch. I think that totally suits you and your work. And I just thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been watching your interviews and I was so excited. I was like, I want to be on. Can I be on? And it's just, I really, really love it. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for everybody else that came to join us. I'm so happy to see you guys.
Yes, thank you all so much for being here. We've loved all the comments. Thank you all so much. And don't forget to tune in 2 weeks. I have another interview coming up then. And yeah, thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon.